Okay, we're going to take our little chicken here. This is a 3-pound chicken I got from Walmart. And I know that you can buy rotisserie chicken in there already cooked for about the price of a raw one. But sometimes you don't know what they're putting on that chicken or in that chicken. It could be injected with sugar. It could be rubbed down with sugar. So when I do use them sometimes because, you know, I live in the real world. But it's best if you can do it yourself. And I find the easiest way to do it is to do it in the crock pot. So I've just got my little chicken here. I've rinsed him off and patted him dry. And now I'm just taking my hand and running it under the skin, between the skin and the meat, and loosening it up. That way I can put some butter under the skin and on top of the skin, and some seasonings too. So we got that all done. Paper towel. Okay, and I just have some melted butter, and I'm going to be using some of this Italian style herbs. I think this has got basil, marjoram, oregano, rosemary, sage, and thyme, and I'm going to put some salt and pepper. So all I'm going to do is, I got that skin over the breast loosened. So I'm just going to brush my chicken with, this is just some melted butter. And just give it a little rub all over the skin. And then I'm going to put some up under the skin. Just get it in there. We just want to baste this little chicken everywhere we can. Okay, and I'm going to put him in my crock pot, so I'm going to take the wings and do him like I do my turkey. Just going to take the wing, the little point here, and we're just going to bend it back on both sides. Just like that, so we make a little chicken rest. So our chicken won't roll around and he'll stay nice and positioned where we put him. So we're just going to get that all brushed, and I'm not going to worry about putting any on the bottom of this chicken because it's going to be down in my crock pot. But I'm going to share a secret with you that I do with about any meat that I put in my crock pot. If I'm going to do a roast or a Boston butt for barbecue, I love to do it in the crock pot, but sometimes, and this is the coolest little thing I got from Walmart, it's got a grinder in the top, so you kind of break up those herbs a little bit. And then we want to put some under the skin too, so I'm just going to put some, let's see, put some in my hand. There we go. And put it under the skin. Okay. Now, my secret to my crock pot, so that, I mean, I love to cook it in the crock pot, but I hate when it sits in the bottom and it's just so much grease and oils and everything out of the chicken collects on the bottom, and your chicken's like boiled in it. I don't want that. So I just took a baking rack from the dollar store and I clipped off part of it and bent it so it sits in my crock pot and holds my chicken up out of the juice. So it's going to drip, the oil and the fat and everything's going to drip off into the bottom, and it's going to kind of like steam my chicken, but my chicken won't be sitting down in all that grease. So, and then just so that it gets a little extra steam on it, I'm going to add some water. You could add wine if you wanted to cook it in wine, or you could add chicken broth. It's just up to you. It's my oven timer. Hold on. It's me. I'm multitasking. Some of y'all know that I cook for my mama every day. She's got Alzheimer's, so that's her dinner in the oven getting done. But anyway, I got my chicken in there. This is a very small chicken. I think it's 3 pounds. So I'm gonna cook it on low for. I'm gonna put it on high. I'm gonna cook it on high for about 3 hours and then check it. So I'm going to put a half a cup of water in the bottom of it and put the lid on it. And the chicken is cooked in the crock pot for 4 hours on high, and I've taken it out of the crock pot, put it on a broiler pan, and put it in the oven for on broil for a few minutes to crisp up that top skin. But we have some liquid gold in the bottom of this crock pot. All of the juice and the liquid that I marinated it in is in the crock pot. So I'm not going to let that go to waste. I'm going to add some reserved chicken bones. You know, in some of my other videos, you've seen me bone my chicken thighs, and I always save all my chicken bones. Well, now I'm going to take my big Ziploc bag of chicken bones. I actually have 2 bags of these, and I'm going to put them in the crock pot with some water. Fill it to the top with water after I add all my chicken bones, some salt and pepper, and maybe a little bit of Italian seasoning and just a little bit of butter, and let that cook to make some good old chicken broth, or bone broth as they call it. But it's delicious, and you can use that sometimes when like in the wintertime when you get kind of feeling sicky and you want some good chicken noodle soup. Well, I can't get the noodle part, but I can have the good chicken broth, and it does wonders when you don't feel good or to settle a upset tummy. I love the chicken broth for that. And then it's great to add to sauces and gravies you're making, doing the low carb, for that extra punch of flavor. So let me get these chicken bones in my crock pot and fill it up with some water and get the lid on it, and then I'll get the chicken out the oven and y'all can have a look at it. I forgot to tell you that also to my bone broth in the crock pot, I do add maybe 2 or 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar with the mother in it. It kind of brings out the flavor and gets some of the, somebody said something, it gets the vitamins out of the bones. I don't know, but it just makes it taste really good. So I always put that in there. And you can add whatever spices you like, whatever flavors you like. I would kind of go light if I put any fresh onion in it, because remember, onions do have carbs in it. So usually I put just maybe a teaspoonful of dried onion flakes in there. I might have mentioned in one of my other videos. Most of the time I don't buy fresh onions because I don't use them up that fast and they go to waste. But I do buy the dried onions because they have a longer shelf life. But you really get more flavor out of the fresh onion. But anyway, that's one of my money-saving things because I am on a budget. But anyway, let me get that apple cider vinegar in the crock pot and get that going. And I'm probably going to let it go for about 24 hours and then check my broth. Usually, and I will add water along and along if it starts getting kind of low in the crock pot. And we'll see what we have. I'm going to get the chicken out of the oven in just a minute. Okay, here's my crispy skinned chicken. I took it out of the crock pot. I might let it go a little too long in the crock pot, so you have to, this is a smaller bird than I usually get, but it's still going to be great. So I've got the chicken all boned now, and you can see this little hen was 3 pounds. It was 96 cents a pound, so less than $3, and I have way more than 3 meals on here. I have some of the white meat here, the breast. I can use this to make maybe a little chicken roll-up sandwich. Some of the dark meat over here and the little pieces off the thighs and stuff, I'm going to chop this up and make some chicken salad. Then I have my drumsticks, and then I have this nice crispy skin, which is going to be lucky if it makes it through the video. It's crunchy and delicious, but for $3, I know exactly what's in it. There's no fillers. There was no added, injected liquids into it to plump it up. It was just plain chicken. I added the seasons myself so I could control exactly what was in it. So it's easier to buy a rotisserie chicken. I know that, and in real life, if I had my way, I would always do my own chicken. But sometimes I do buy the rotisserie chicken and I don't feel bad about it and I don't beat myself up about it, because the key to this diet is something that's sustainable and that you can do and not be worried about everything put in your mouth. So I'm really careful with my carbs, but if they injected something in my chicken and I don't know it, it can't be that much. So I try to be careful, but nobody's perfect. And a little rotisserie chicken is not going to kill anybody. It's not going to make me weigh over 300 pounds again. So I don't see anything wrong with buying a rotisserie chicken. But if you can do it yourself, do it yourself. That's the only thing. I hate when you go on these. I'm going to rant for a minute, so if you want to just skip this part, skip over it. I'm going to rant about Facebook. I love Facebook. I love all my groups that I'm on Facebook. I'm a member of a lot of different groups that do low carb, but some of them, and I'm not going to say which ones, some of them, they are like they're like the keto police. If you say something about, I use Duke's mayonnaise, they want to jump all over you. Oh, you shouldn't use Duke's mayonnaise. It has soybean oil in it. Well, I work a full-time job. I have a full-time life, and sometimes I don't have time to come home and whip up homemade mayonnaise. So, yes, I do use Duke's mayonnaise. I buy rotisserie chicken. I will go through McDonald's and get a bunless burger sometimes. I know I don't know what's in their meat, but sometimes you're hungry, and that's the best choice. This is the whole thing about the keto diet. It's about making the best choice you can make. Nobody's perfect. Nobody, and I hate to see these posts. People say, oh my God, I had Starbucks coffee and they put regular cream in it instead of heavy cream. Has that knocked me out of ketosis? What do I need to do? What you need to do is drink your coffee, and next time make sure that they don't put the cream in your coffee. That's all you have to do. All this stuff about this knocked me out of ketosis, that knocked me out of ketosis, what do I do to make up for it? You can't go back, you can't undo it, you can't make it up. You drank it, you ate it, let it go, move on. That's all you gotta do, move on. Now, if I could take that and put it to the whole rest of my life, I would be one happy girl. I would be so chill. Anyway, I could do it in keto, so maybe I could get it to spread out into the rest of my life and let things go that don't need to be there. So let's all be positive and zen and all that good stuff, and eat some good food, eat keto. If you can make it yourself, do it. If you can't, buy the best that you can. That's all I'm saying. And remember, Sissy can do it. You can do it too. Now let me go check on this bone broth. I got a few more hours, but it sure is smelling good. Bye-bye, y'all.